Hi, here's a quick video to show you the I/O test and how to swap out uh, switches for your joysticks and buttons. So you press the little black settings button, or I believe yours actually has an external button on the back of the bar top. You can press that, and that'll get you into the settings menu. In the settings menu, you'll have something called I/O test. It'll look a little different than this because yours is a different game board. But you press the A button to go into I/O test, and then go ahead and press up, down, left, right, and all the buttons, and see which ones are responding and which ones aren't. That's just a nice, convenient way to check if everything's working. Alright, actually right now my C button isn't working on this one. Up, down, left, right, and you can check your diagonals. Alright, and once you've checked that, you can go ahead and shut off your arcade, and then on your control panel there'll be 4 screws, 2 on each side of the control panel. They might have little black covers like that over them. If they do, you just peel up that cover and grab a Phillips head screwdriver. And loosen or remove all 4 of those screws. And then you can tilt your control panel up and forward. And here's what the bottom of it looks like. Here's your joystick switches with the little lever. Here's your wires and button switches. And so if you found one of the joystick switches wasn't working, you would just carefully pull off each wire and only do one at a time, even if there's multiple ones, so that way you can make sure that you put the wires back on correctly. And then there's one little screw that holds the switch in. So you undo that screw, pop the screw out completely, take your new switch, put it back in. The lever goes towards the center of the joystick, and the bottom of it goes on the little nubby, and then you put your screw back in the other hole, tighten it back down, helps if you put it on the right way. Sorry, trying to do this one-handed without my tripod. Alright, let's do that again. Lever goes towards the center of the joystick. This one goes on the little nubby, and your screw goes in the other hole. And go ahead and tighten that down. And then your black wire goes on the little bent one with the single spot there. And then your other colored wire goes on the bottom one here, closest to the ground wire. That's your signal wire. Make sure those are on. And then that's all there is to it to swap out one of the joystick micro switches. And then to swap out one of your buttons, you do the same thing. Gently pull off the wire, Again, only do one at a time, so that way you can make sure you put the wires back where they belong. And then this one you just grab and it kind of snaps out. Then you take a new one, put this bottom end in first, tilt it back, snap it back into place. Then the ground switch, in this case, goes on the top, which is the bent one, just like the others. And then your signal colored wire goes on the other terminal. Then you make sure those are all on perfect. Then put your control panel back in place. Turn the arcade back on. Go into the settings menu. Go back to the I/O test and retest everything. And if all your buttons and joysticks are working, then you put your screws in the control panel back in, and you're all done.